Right, Farming Simulator 2009. This game is fairly old now, and of course there's been many versions since this, but I thought I'd just show you what this game had to offer. Maybe you've never played it before, or maybe you didn't even know there was a 2009 version. There was actually a 2008 as well, but I thought I'd jump to 2009 because of the lack of features in 08. Not saying that it is a bad one though. Welcome to your farm. An unexpected inheritance has made you the proud owner of a farm along with a few vehicles and tools. Do you have what it takes to be a successful farmer? Probably not. Anyway, this is our elevator for the bales. Basically, what you had to do in this one was put your bales into here, and it would take them up into there and sell them. That didn't work too well. There were a few modifications for this to make it work a bit better, like putting guards on, but it still wasn't a perfect system, so that's probably why they've gone with a shed which you actually put the bales into now and sell them that way. This is of course one of our tractor sheds, pretty good size one, very similar to 2008 though. We've then got our silos for our 4 crop types. You get 4 crops in this one. Corn, barley, canola and wheat, and there is the pit for it of course. A few silos there. So it's fairly basic, but it was still good at the time. I used to enjoy playing it. There's our diesel tank, filling up tractors. This is, I guess, an animal store, but no animals in this version. So I think what we'll do is go and see our equipment, and then I will show you around the map. So here we are, all of our equipment is here. This is everything you can possibly get in the game, without mods of course, and compared to 2008 it's a massive improvement. You got obviously normal machinery like this little vintage tractor here, Lizard, and you got your Lizard combine over there, small sprayer, small drill, small plough, small cultivator to start off with, that small trailer as well. And then you could buy stuff from the shop like you can now, you store. You can upgrade stuff, which obviously costs money, which you have to earn. 2008 did not have this. You basically just started your game and you had everything you needed. There wasn't much, it was just the basic equipment you get in this game. So that is a big improvement. And we're going to run through everything just really quickly. We're going to have a quick run around. Obviously this is our small Lizard 2850C. That was our starting tractor. Quite a well modelled thing. And that's what you start off with your Lizard over there to do your harvest. You've got 3 front weights. You get a really heavy one there, which is basically just an oil drum full of cement. Medium sized one there and the really small one there. You get your 2 bale trailers, smaller and a longer one. They didn't work too well for bales. They tended to fly off the back. So some people modded some things and you could actually lock your bales into place, which was really good. That was a breakthrough. You get your Pottinger of course. This is your forage wagon for collecting all of your hay and stuff, your silage. 3 massive trailers. This one is, well, quite long and thin. Probably not quite to scale. This one was your medium sized one. Most people use this. And you're starting off one here, single axle trailer. So they're all pretty good. Yeah, I did struggle to pull this one here with any tractor in the game though. It's pretty big, and some tractors, if you put it on them, it'll actually do a wheelie. So that was quite interesting. Anyway, three ploughs here. You got your Lizard 039D. You get your next one at Pottinger. I think they're both Pottinger, yeah. So they were big improvements from this one, because this is what you got in 2008. 3 drills. You get your little one over there, starting off drill. 2 Pottingers here, Vitasem and the Aerosem 3000. You also had the blade, the dozer blade thing. It wasn't really that useful because there was no snow or anything. I mainly used it for getting my tractors out of a ditch if I crashed. So it is handy in a way. Right, so we've got 3 fence here. These were pretty good. Quite expensive to buy, but realistic. Beacons don't work on them, but they were there anyway. That was probably my favourite. This one just here, just because of the shape of it. That's an 8350. You also have a 5270C and a 9460R. So a good range of machinery there. And not forgetting the Lizard, of course. Your farm would not progress without this machine. Right, so on to our second tractor, the Fendt 209S. This one had a tendency to do wheelies, It wasn't too good at pulling. Obviously it's designed for small areas, so quite a lot of people stayed with this one instead of upgrading to this one, just because of the fact this one could pull more, despite this one being a high horsepower. So the next big step up was the Fendt Favorite 614 LSA Turbomatic. That was quite a good tractor, and you also get the same one here with a front loader. So I always used to go straight for this one, just because it had a front loader, meaning you could do other stuff with it. You get your pallet tines. Yeah, in this game if you walk into stuff you can actually flick it across the map. That was interesting. You get your bucket, which I'm just pushing about there, and you get your bale spike, which the bales tended to get stuck on. Right, next big jump up is the Fendt 716. This was a much more powerful tractor, pretty much the tractor you'd always go for corn carting and ploughing, anything like that. Pretty good tractor there. And then we've got the Fendt Black Beauty 936 Vario. Pretty good one, but people couldn't really afford it straight away, so they went for this one, just the standard. That's not bad. Pretty good one there. It had the horsepower requirements for any trailer pretty much, just about for that one. That is pretty heavy. And then you've got your mowers, Pottinger Novacat 306F, and the one for the back, which I've just turned over. You can see there is some detail underneath, but not too much. So the textures are fairly plain, strong colours, and there was no dirt in this one either, so you couldn't wash your machinery. We've then got our windrower, single one here. I think that was the only one you could get actually, without modding it. Yes, so you had to do everything with that, whether you liked it or not. And then we're back to the beginning. We'll go down here. We've got the Fendt 1290S, that's our baler. You only got one baler, you didn't get around one. So you'd move your bales with your front loader, put them on there, and take them to that elevator I showed you. The baler is actually pretty good, and the sound effects for the tractor when it's running it is pretty good as well. We've then got our cultivator. This is the one you start off with. In this game, if you put your cultivator on the floor, if you lowered it, it would automatically put the texture there, which was not very good. So you actually had to drop it from a height to do this, so it didn't cultivate the floor. And this is your biggest one, the Pottinger Synchro 403K. So that is your big one in this game. You've then got your sprayer. It's a Monsoon Triton 500, and this is the one you start off with, a Monsoon Triton 200. So there is a wide range of equipment available to you, and it was very impressive at the time. I can remember playing this game for hours. It's one of those games where I wish it was on Steam, because it would record your gameplay time. I know mine would be in the hundreds, maybe even 1,000 hours of gameplay, just because it is so good. But that is the machinery. So I think what I'm going to do now is jump into one of the machines, probably the Fendt 936 Black Beauty. We will go for a tour of the map. So here is landmark number 1, Fendt Station. This is obviously where you buy your equipment from. Quite a bit of detail. You've got your workshop in there, your working pit as well. So that was really well done, and you could actually walk up to the door and buy your equipment. The inside of the cabs, well, they needed improvements. It was fairly similar to 2008, so there wasn't a great deal done there, but it was a big improvement. So let's drive down the road. Obviously we're on the island here, and this is actually the same island as 2008, but it was heavily modified. Like, they added new areas to it and new detail, like this parking, well, they call it a parking lot, but I'm in the UK, so it's car park. So there was detail added, definitely. They built up from the first version, and they definitely improved it. So this is actually the end of the road, so I'm going to go left and head back up to the other side of the map, and I'll let you know every time we get to a place of interest. There is actually 15, that's including the yard, but that's 2 of them. Fendt Station there and the car park over there, and that's of course all of our equipment. So off we go. We'll go up here and we'll see the AI actually. The traffic is, it was good because 2008 didn't even have traffic, so it was a big improvement, but there was a lot of accidents and they like to crash into you. So in 2015, if you hit a car, it's like a solid object, you can't actually do anything with it, but in this game you can flip them. So here we are looking over the fields. They all look fairly similar, but there is 4 crop types. So despite it looking the same, they are different. And we're getting up to near the village here. This is actually a roundabout with the cow in the middle. I don't think the village had a name, but this is it. There are the houses, and there's a car driving on the grass. That's weird. And this is the new area for the map. In 2008, this was here, just about, but there was like one field and it was full of boulders and you couldn't really harvest it without crashing into them. So that was a bit weird, really. So they've definitely improved this. They've added like a park here with tennis courts and basketball courts and all that. And you've got your places over here to play. And this one I think is the chapel. Yes, it is. This is number 1. And this is just our chapel at the top of the hill, with a good view over the island and of the wind turbines and of the ships. So not too bad, really. Anyway, oh, it's chiming. So landmark number 2 is over there. That is the sports court, which we just saw. We'll move on to number 3, which is the supermarket. I think that's on the other side of here, just over there somewhere. So I'll just head over there now and show you that. I think it's just up here, the building we can see in front. Yes, here we are, Seaside Shopping. This is our supermarket, and you've got a bottle bank. In 15 you have your gold coins, which you collect, 100 of them. In this one you have to collect bottles, and you have to put them in the bottle bank. And then I think you get a reward, I can't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I've played this game. But yeah, there is interest number 2, and that marker there is when you're doing your missions. You take some stuff here, pallets to here, deliveries, and then you get paid for that. So there we go, landmark number 3. Here we are approaching the garden centre, and this is here for missions. You got your pallets here, which you can move around in a mission, deliver them to places. So that's where you'd go to get a side job, get a bit of extra cash to buy some new machinery. So that was one way of doing it. Some crops. Now we've got barley by the look of things. Yep, some barley and some oilseed rape or canola. Now this game, even when the canola was fully grown, which this is, it was very low. So what people tended to do, especially when modding maps, making their own map, you could actually, in the XML file, you could actually increase the height of it, which a lot of people did, and it made it look a lot more realistic. And that had to be done, really, because it is very small, it's very low, and it just doesn't look right. So that's one way of getting around the low crops. So here we are at one of the selling points. This is the brewery. This is where you sell your grain. Not everything is accepted here, but a fair bit of it is. Let me have a look. Brewery takes wheat and barley, so not canola and corn. You've got your mill and your port, of course, and all of these prices will change during the gameplay. That is the PDA, actually. I didn't show you that before, but you've got your map on there, which shows you different landmarks. Weather forecast for the next 4 days. Prices, which I just showed you, and some statistics of how much you've got in storage, used fuel, capital, money basically, how many bottles you've collected, and your reputation. We've got a marker here, information marker. What's this? Ah, it's the bottles. Side job, return bottles. There are 100 bottles scattered across the island. If you return these bottles to a bottle bank, you'll receive a small amount of money and your reputation increases. So there's bottle number 1. Anyway, let's move on and see what else there is. That there is clearly the port. It looks like it gets some big ships in. So let's turn left out of here. No indicators or anything. You can't put your hazards on. It's very simple and basic. But it was fun at the time, and to be honest, it's not too bad now. The newer versions are obviously a lot more realistic. So this is where you sell, I think, everything. Yep, you can sell everything here. Doesn't matter what. But the chances are you won't get a very good price for it compared to the brewery and the mill. So you've got to look around before you sell stuff. Very similar to now, actually. So, let's move on again. There used to be a bridge to nowhere. I don't know if they've kept that in. but in 2008 there was a bridge which you could drive on, and you basically plopped off the end into the sea. That was at the end of here. I think they've got rid of the bridge to nowhere. Oh well, that's a shame. They've replaced it with the mill, which is just here. And that's where you can sell a few other things. And there's a bottle bank there. So there we go, that's another bit of the map. So here we are at the bay. This is where the road crosses the sea, and this is the bay. It's the more picturesque side of the map. So there we have it. It's the bay. So if you're wondering, these ships actually just keep circling the map, just so you can always see one. They go very slowly, but they are moving, which is good. It's a good job they're not just static. And there's a bit of a jetty over there as well. So there's not too much of interest in this area. This is pretty much a flatland, as you can see from the mini-map. But if we keep going, we'll get to the lighthouse, which you can just about see on the horizon there. The view distance is actually pretty good. And you can see the farm in the middle, just over there. So, we'll make our way over to the lighthouse and see what that's got to offer. So the lighthouse is just up here with another building. Don't know what that is. There's a ship over there, look. So I do like that, the way that they've got the ship circling. And I think you can go up it actually. Let's have a look. Oh, sorry. Steering wheel controls the person as well. Right. Yeah, pretty good. Can even look out the windows. What's at the top then? Probably a bottle actually. No, there isn't a bottle. I thought there'd be a bottle up here. One of the collectibles. So not a bad view. That is a very good view actually over the map. That gives you a pretty good idea of what it looks like. You can still just about see the yard. Not too much of it. So, yep, I think we should probably get down from here. And we'll move on to the next landmark, which is the construction site and the stone circle. So we're almost back at the beginning now. The fence station's over there. That's where all of our equipment is. But just up here, we've got the construction site on the left. I don't actually remember it. Is it just a bollard in the middle of the road? Oh no, we've got a skip. And there is a bit of construction going on. We've got a portaloo. We've got a pallet, a generator, or a pump or something. And some bollards. Good. There's our construction site. And here is the stone circle, which I'm guessing is the tourist place. Is there no bottles here either? Nope. Thought there would be. Oh well, let's head back then to the yard and we will probably be beginning some harvest. I'll do one quick little bit. Oh, bottle. There we go. Got 2 bottles now. We'll have to deposit them in a bottle bank and put our reputation up for litter picking. So we'll get the combine, we'll get the trailer on this tractor. I'll begin a harvest. Won't do too much. Just do 1 load or so, and that'll give you a good idea of what the gameplay's like. I'll just deposit my bottles. There we go, plus 2% reputation. That's pretty good. I've decided it's probably easier just to buy the trailer again, so we'll put this on the tractor. The trailers did have a scale problem. They are quite a bit bigger than the tractors, and that's not even the big trailer. So I don't know why they were quite so big, but they are. We'll use the one on the fence over there, and I'll take this to a field of wheat or something, and we'll begin the harvest. So there's a number of fields here with some crops in. We'll probably just do one, probably the barley there. They seem to have given you everything to begin with, just so you can have a bit of a taster and to get you on your feet if you're starting from the beginning. So I'll just do this barley. We'll get the Fendt. Okay, we'll have this one then. We'll take this one. It'll take me a few minutes to get there. Now, one thing I forgot to mention when I was showing the equipment back there was Gold Edition was released sort of I think it was a few months afterwards since the main release, and this added a load more machines into the game. If you already had the basic version, I think you could upgrade for a cost, probably about £5 or something, but then they eventually released the whole lot with Gold Edition built into it. I don't think you can actually buy this game anymore, probably used from somewhere. I saw a couple of places selling it used, but not many. So I think it's a pretty hard game to get hold of now. So that's why I'm keeping hold of my copy. I've got 2008. Actually, I've got every version, but I don't play them anymore. This is literally the first time I've played this one for about 3 or 4 years. So just having a look back, really, revisiting it, see how things have improved since, and yes, they have really improved. It's fantastic. So let's get this thing going. Well, I think we should probably start. It's not the same controls as FS15. You press G to start and B to put the auger out. So I always get confused. Now you can going too quick. Key number 2. You can chop it, I think. Or maybe you can't. Maybe you had to bail it. Well, I can remember in FS08 you couldn't bail at all. There was no baler. You could get a mod and you couldn't even swath it. It was basically chopping all the time. So this game, between FS08 and FS09, has been a massive improvement. I think if you were to say this game looked pretty bad, then you should probably look at 08, because that will really show you how much work was put into this version. I might actually show you 08 actually, if you've never played it, in another game. Oh, I keep going too quick. Yeah, in another revisited version. Obviously I'm not going to play this one for another part. This is just one part, one off. I'm not going back to 09. Just keep it at this. Just a little taster of what it was like. But I can remember it used to be really good. Really good. I used to play it for hours. I think everyone else did too. And then of course the mods started to come out for this game, and that made gameplay even better. New maps, more detail. So that made even more people play it and buy it. I think a lot of people at one point, because they wanted Giants to put more money into the next version, get it more advanced and get multiplayer and stuff, they started buying a copy of the game more than once. So they bought the game twice or 3 times just to give them more money, which is really generous. And to be fair, it's obviously gone a long way, because look at 15 now. You know, we're going to be emptying in a minute. We'll just head down here, get the auger out ready. And get to the end. Yes, we can. Look at that. Okay, let's empty. And the emptying didn't look too realistic. Look, it's like powder or something. And it didn't fill in the places where you put the auger over. But it worked. It was good enough. Just shows you what a long way it's come, doesn't it? But this version, I say that, but it's really not bad. It's actually pretty good. Anyway, let's begin again. We're virtually done. I can remember, if you were ploughing or cultivating or drilling or something, and you were going too quick, and you got that message up saying press key 2 or key 1, if you carried on and you ignored that message, your plough would literally fall off the back of the tractor. Which, I don't know, it was interesting. I don't think it would fall off in real life. I think you'd probably just struggle to get any speed up. Couldn't really plough at 30 miles an hour, but I guess that's just the way they looked at it at that time, to stop you from speeding when doing field work. But there we go, that is our field harvested. And that can all be baled now. But I'm not doing it. Let's just empty it, we'll take this to the yard. There we go. Right, tractor. This tractor is struggling a bit with this trailer. I probably should have kept it on the 936, just using a different machine for demonstration. There is the grass field which you can cut. You can't go around everywhere cutting what you want. It was literally that and a few other fields, I think, somewhere dotted around. This is top speed with the trailer on. It takes a while for it to get up to speed. And steering isn't great either, with weight on the back. So, I seem to remember a big hump actually here. It used to go flying if you went over it too quick. Yeah. Could be worse. Now I just have to remember how to tip. Maybe I had to be completely aligned with it. There we go. And you couldn't look around either when it was tipping. It's just stuck on that screen. So I think before I go, I'm just going to let you know what the features of this game are, just in case you wanted to try and buy it used. Maybe you just want to buy it just to see for yourself how it's come a long way, and maybe just to play the older versions. But it's got career mode, lots of different missions and tutorials, large vehicle fleet with authentic Fendt machines, that's true, it's got very good Fendt machines, sophisticated equipment, 4 different crop types, corn, barley, canola and wheat. That is a big improvement from 2008 because you only had wheat. In the first version you were literally stuck with wheat and nothing else. You have your day and night cycle with weather changes, AI traffic and computer controlled assistance, so basically your worker. Mods available, so you could always download extra stuff, put them in your mods folder, and you could expand your farm with new equipment and different maps, and gamepad and steering wheel support. So there we go, that is Farming Simulator 2009. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I might be doing another look back video of one of the other versions. Let me know, and I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.